Let's talk about the effects of pornography in your real sex life.
There are some things I feel strongly about in terms of I don't think children should watch porn. However, a lot of people, adults who are fully formed frontal lobes, can use pornography in a very normal, healthy way. Now, what I'm seeing in the younger generation is that they've only learned about sex through porn because no one talked to them about it. And so they watch and they think this is how I have sex and this is how I get my partner to orgasm. And on average, kids see porn at 10.
Man. Let's talk about the effects of pornography in your real sex life.
Yes. So pornography has really changed. So when I was younger, right, you had to get a VCR. You had to go to a sketchy store and find a tape and find a place to watch it. And, it was very difficult. Or you had to have a magazine that was hidden under, somewhere. And so it was not easy and it was not accessible. And it was definitely very different than what porn looks like today. Now, I think that porn, there are some things I feel strongly about in terms of I don't think children should watch porn. I don't think that it should be so readily accessible to people. I think there should be some challenges in getting access to porn because I think that makes it much more difficult to want to engage in real life desire and sex and it does sort of make it more difficult for some people to enjoy regular sex or even seek out regular sex because they have these very exotic and erotic things very easily accessible. However, a lot of people, adults who are fully formed frontal lobes, can use pornography in a very normal, healthy way. And I think it's very individual. People tend to know when they have an issue with pornography, right? They're like, oh, I'm using it all the time. I don't enjoy my partner as much. Nothing is as good as what I feel like when I watch porn. I find myself using it more than I actually want to have sex with my partner. I find I'm using it more than when I want to go out and hang out with my friends. And so you sort of start seeing the issues, right? You start seeing it in yourself, but it creates this shame spiral, right? So you're like, oh, I use porn. It makes me feel bad. And some of that may be also because you have a moral incongruence. You think porn is bad and you use it, you feel bad, right? And then you're like, oh man, I feel bad, but I need to feel good again. So I'm going to use it because it temporarily makes me feel good and I feel even worse. And it creates this sort of shame spiral, which can be really debilitating for people. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm seeing in the younger generation is that they've only learned about sex through porn because no one talked to them about it. And so they watch porn. They think this is how I have sex and this is how I get my partner to orgasm. And when they actually go to have sex with their partner, it does not go anything like that because porn is a produced product. It is meant for entertainment, is not real life. It is meant, the camera angles, everything is meant for the viewer's enjoyment. It is not for the pleasure of the actual people having sex. They are actors. And so when they go and they have sex with their partner, it doesn't go the way they thought it was. And now they think they're broken. They think something's wrong with them. And so that's a real problem, because it creates these unrealistic expectations on both sides, right? Men feel like they don't look or have the same results as the porn star, and women also feel like I don't climax immediately upon penetration, or I don't look like that, and something's wrong with me. And so it creates these really unrealistic expectations. So that's a problem. But when you have a fully formed frontal lobe, you understand that it's a fake product. You can use it as a way to have arousal from time to time. Should it be your only source of arousal? No, I don't think so. Can it be used in a healthy way? Yes, I think it can. And I think most people do use it most people use it, period. And I think a lot of people can use it in a healthy way. But I do think there are some caveats. And I do think it should not be freely accessible because I worry about kids. Mm-hmm. And on average, kids see porn at 10.
Man.
And so long before my kid turned 10, I talked to him about porn. I said, you might see this. You might see something that makes you confused. You might see people having sex. Your friend might show you on their phone. Something might happen. I want you to know this is not real. And I want you to talk to me about it and feel open to talk to me about it. Because I don't want you to be confused. That's, I don't want you to feel like that's what real sex is like.
Mm-hmm. When you talk to patients about porn addiction or just porn in general, do you, and we covered this a little bit earlier, but do you feel like it would be, is it healthier to save that for your partner?
I think it depends on the person. So I think that you should vary your arousal. It should not all be based on pornography, right? So you should be able to get aroused by thinking. You should be able to get aroused by fantasizing. And if you want to use porn occasionally, it can be nice to explore other areas of things that might be of interest to you, to learn maybe something else that might turn you on that you never thought of before. It can be as a couple, if you are both on the same page and you watch it together, it can actually increase sexual satisfaction and relationship factors. We've seen that in studies. But again, I think it's very individual. And I think that if you are finding yourself solely relying on porn, like you cannot masturbate without porn, then that's a red flag to me. You should be able to have arousal without that. Like I remember when I was in medical school, I had a friend be like, I love springtime in New York. And I was like, why? He's like, because it's the sexiest time. Girls are all wearing skirts and you can see more skin. And I was like, it's so funny to me now because nobody would ever say that now. Because it's like, you don't need to wait till springtime. Like you just look at your phone and you'll see whatever you want. And so there's no it's like the simple things. And think about even way back when you would have to court a partner. You would have to walk with them and talk with them, and you would barely be able to touch their hand. There would be this buildup, this tension, this oh, I'm so excited to be with you and to touch you. And I feel like we've lost a lot of that. That actual enjoyment of being with someone else and glamorizing that versus oh, I can just watch this on porn and have fun for a few minutes.
Yeah, I think it's a big problem in the entire world right now.
Yeah. And again, I think that it's just about I really feel like it's dangerous that our kids have access to it.
Yeah, me too. We've covered that a lot on this show, which actually we were talking about it this morning with Ryan Montgomery, and you watched Tim Tebow one, it sounded like.
Yeah.
And those were cornerstones of both of those interviews. But what, we're kind of winding down the interview now, and one thing I wanted to ask is, no matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.